Ruthless, got the rage, let it flow. Holding on to stories, tales untold. He's the king of the ring, the last man standing. Dropkick the Commute.
Hello and welcome to Dropkick the Commute, where I am going to talk about Elimination Chamber. Whoo, baby, this show was fucking crazy. Overall, this was just such a good show. Let's hop right into it. The craziest thing of the night, John Cena has officially turned heel after 20 fucking years, dude. This was insane. I was watching it and I was just like, holy fuck. Like, watching it the whole time, mouth wide open. I was just like, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane moment. First, John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. We'll talk about the match after, but John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. Cody Rhodes comes out and he's like, hey, you me Cena, WrestleMania? Yeah, baby, woo, let's go. They like shake hands and stuff. They hug. And then The Rock comes out with Travis Scott. I don't know why Travis Scott was there. Honestly, if Travis Scott was not in this whole segment, it would have been even better, but he was there for some reason. I don't fucking know. But The Rock comes out and he goes to the ring and he's like, Cody, I want your soul. I can promise you immortality, essentially. He's like, the American nightmare will live forever, but if you refuse me, the dream dies again. Cody was like, I want it all, Rock. You know, looking like he's about to make out with The Rock. I want it all, Rock. Give it to me. And he's like, but the thing is, I've already sold my soul. I sold it to all these people in this championship, you know, being the nice old baby face that he is. And then he looks at Rock and goes, hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. The Rock didn't like that very much, but John Cena did. And Cena's like, woo! And he's like, yeah, baby. And then he goes to hug Cody Rhodes, and it cuts to The Rock, and he goes like this, and he's like, take him down, and Cena's face turns like, you know, all mean, straight face, heel face, and fucking kicks Cody Rhodes in the nuts, and then they start beating the shit out of him. Cena chokes Cody with his tie, hits him with the watch. Like, it was insane. It was just all over the place, and we ended off the show with a bloody Cody Rhodes, The Rock, Cena, and Travis Scott standing there with a bloody Cody Rhodes. It was just insane to watch live, and it was absolutely just such a crazy moment. And I love this, dude. I love it. Having Cena turn heel is going to make WrestleMania so fucking insane. It's going to make this whole next year insane, honestly. Like, who knows where it goes from here? I genuinely don't. This is going to add so much to Cena. It's going to add so much to just the whole dynamic of everything. Obviously, one of the matches is going to be Cena and Cody, but maybe Punk is inserted in there because he still has the favor, or his favor is going to be, you know, a match against Seth Rollins, because that was the whole thing. Seth essentially got Punk eliminated from the Elimination Chamber, but I don't know. The main event picture for Mania looks crazy. Genuinely, who knows what's going to happen there. Just such an insane moment to see live, and Cena's a bad guy now. I never thought I would see it coming, but here we are. That is exactly what happened. That's the craziest thing that happened from Elimination Chamber. But again, the whole show was just so solid. Starting off, our first match of the night was the Women's Elimination Chamber. This match was incredible. Every woman in this match, like, really showed up and showed out for it. Right at the beginning, we started off with a bang, and we had Liv and Naomi in the ring, and the door was still open, and Jade Cargill came back and she attacked Naomi. I've been calling it for weeks. I was like, Naomi is the one that beat up Jade, dude. Took her out of action, and that is presumably exactly what happened, because Jade walked into the chamber and looked like she was going for Liv, but then turned last second and beat the shit out of Naomi. Slammed the chamber door on her and took her out of action, so she was eliminated right away. They were like, Naomi can no longer compete, so she is eliminated from the match. I thought that they were going to have Jade, like, replace her or something, but that's not what happened, and Naomi was just out, and Jade walked to the back, and then, you know, wasn't seen the rest of the night, but she took out Naomi, and it was just such a good start to the match. Really set the tone, set the pace for everything. And these women just beat the shit out of each other. You know, Bayley beat the shit out of Roxanne in her pod, and a really, really good sequence between Bayley and Roxanne, and, you know, going back and forth, trading finishers outside of the ring. And then Liv snuck out of nowhere and did an Oblivion onto Bayley and eliminated Bayley right then and there. The highlight reel from this match was Bianca fucking having a little throwback to WrestleMania 37, whipped Liv with her braid while they were on top of one of the pods. That shit was so loud, sounded like a gunshot in the arena. And then there was another point where Liv was pushing Bianca against the chamber wall and then pulling her braid and pushed her and pulled her braid and pushed her, and just did that a whole bunch of times, and just super brutal, super physical match. It was absolutely crazy. That whip was insane, and I did get this prediction correct. Bianca Belair won the chamber, so she is going to be in a match against either Rhea or Io Sky, whoever wins on Monday. Presumably Rhea. I'm assuming it's going to be Rhea versus Bianca, which would go crazy at Mania. So, but this women's match was just so solid, and usually I feel like the women's chamber is not as strong as the men's chamber, at least the past few years, but this year, like, holy shit, man, it was so good. And Roxanne Perez looked really, really good in the match as well. You know, she is showing that she can hang with the main roster and absolutely deserves to be on the main roster. We saw her in the Royal Rumble setting records. She was in this match and looked just as strong as she did there. Like, just really, really good performance from Roxanne, and push her up, honestly. Once the draft happens, I'm sure she's going to get called up to Raw or SmackDown or something. Like, she will be on the main roster this year. I'm positive. Second match of the night. Nothing crazy from this match, but I did think it was really entertaining. All four of the women did a really good job in this match. It was the women's tag match with Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. And this was solid. Like I said, it was really entertaining, fast-paced most of the time, really good chemistry between Tiffany and Trish. It was just an entertaining match. We did have a gnarly drop kick, like a really, really stiff drop kick from Candice to Trish, while Nia was like holding her up. Candice like jumped off, bounced off the rope and then did a drop kick to her, and she like flipped over. It was insane. It looked brutal. Tiffany looked really, really strong in this match as well. You know, she's the women's champion, but she did a fucking spine buster to Nia Jax, which is insane. That's really, really impressive. You know, lots of athletic stuff here from her, like her typical like gymnast moves. Prettiest moonsault ever. She did her flip across the ring that she does. It just looked really, really good. Everyone in this match looked solid, and it was a good match, and the crowd obviously loved Trish Stratus, and she performed in front of her kids for the first time, which was exciting. Match of the night for me was the lights out, like unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I say lights out because they did have the lights out. They literally only had a spotlight on them the entire time until they, bumped up the lights later on in the match. But this was fucking crazy, brutal. We got stacked tables for the first time in years. I don't even know when the last time we had stacked tables was, but my God, dude. They stack up the tables outside of the ring earlier in the match, and then they get back to the ring eventually, and Kevin Owens pushed Sami Zayn off the turnbuckle. He goes through the tables. insane spot. I love stack tables. I'm hoping you can do that in a game soon. I haven't seen anything from it from 2K25. Obviously, you could do it in the older video games, but they took it out a while ago. I love stacked tables. They just get me going. There was a point when they were out in the crowd and Sami did like two, you know, Blue Thunder Bomb-esque moves through 2 tables in a row. Each table had like a bunch of drinks on them, and he just boom, 1 table, boom, 2 table, and the crowd goes fucking crazy for him. There was a point when the first ref gets knocked out with a haluva kick, and he's out for a bit. Kevin Owens goes for the pin to Sami. There's no ref there. Charlie Robinson comes out, and he goes to count. He counts to 2. Kevin Owens is pissed off. He gets up, takes Charlie, and fucking clotheslines him. He killed my boy. Then another ref comes out, and eventually you just had a bunch of officials and security out there, and it just got turned into like pure chaos. I thought it was a good angle because, like, yes, it's unsanctioned, but also obviously they don't want them to kill each other. Like, yeah, there's no rules and everything, but I thought this was a good little element to the match where you had all the people come out and be like, all right, that's enough. Like, stop the match. And they still just completely beat the shit out of each other. We had a barbed wire chair, which was crazy. Lots of moves done onto that. You know, drop toe hold to Kevin Owens onto the chair. He did a fucking suplex onto the chair. Like, it was just insane. There was one kick out that was actually insane where Kevin Owens was covering Sami. I believe it was after a move, like, from the turnbuckle. He goes to cover him, and Sami's shoulder, like, barely lifts up, and he's like, ugh. And that was just such a close finish. This match had so many close falls. Kind of to end the match out, Kevin Owens kept power bombing him onto the apron, and obviously the whole point of this match was like Sami selling the neck because from the pile driver that he got a couple weeks back. So he keeps power bombing him onto the apron, and everyone's like, stop, and he eventually brings him into the ring and pins him. And then Kevin's going to walk out of the arena, but then he goes back and starts to beat the shit out of Sami some more, and Randy Orton makes his return after a while. Randy Orton is back, gives RKOs to everybody and their mother, and he almost went for a punt kick. Randy was in the corner going for the punt, and he starts to run up, and he just gets rushed by people. It was such a good moment. And then Randy RKO's literally everyone. This whole show just had incredible highlights just all over the place. Then, of course, we had the men's chamber match. You know, everybody, of course, in this match had an incredible showing as well. I believe Drew was the first one to be eliminated. Damian snuck in an elimination on Drew after Cena came into the ring and did his whole sequence. You know, AAs to everybody, like his 5 moves of doom that he does. He had his whole sequence, and then Damian got Drew with the most dangerous move in sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up, and Drew was pissed, dude. He was pissed off. Hit someone with a claymore before he left the ring. I'm sure on SmackDown this Friday, we're going to see something from Drew being all pissed off, and he's gonna blame somebody because that's what he's been doing lately. We had a good little tease with a Punk and Cena moment. They were standing in the ring staring at each other, but then Seth Rollins like interfered, and they're like, what the fuck? So they team up on Seth and beat the shit out of him and kind of throw him out of the ring, and then they have their moment together with Punk and Cena. You know, Punk and Cena are obviously like massive rivalry there. We had the stuff from over 10 years ago. Well, 15 years ago, right? That was what, Money in the Bank 2010 or 2011, one of them. But you know, their story is well known, and they hugged it out before they started beating the shit out of each other. And Seth ends up getting back to his feet, but then they team up and beat up Seth. Seth ends up getting eliminated after a GTS and an AA. Then Punk eliminates Seth. While Cena and Punk are still going at it, Cena gets Punk on the ropes, and Seth sneaks in with a stomp before he leaves the chamber, and that gets Cena to be able to do the STF and get Punk to pass out. And while he's doing the STF, Seth is on the outside of the chamber yelling, "Die, die!" He's just screaming at him. He's like, "Why won't you die?" That's why I think maybe Seth and Punk are going to have something at Mania, but like Punk needs to be in the main event. So I'm wondering if he's going to use his Paul Heyman favor to get himself like inserted into the main event there. But then where does that leave Seth? You know, I don't know. You could have Seth and Punk, but then you don't have Punk in the main event. So we'll see what happens there. Overall, man, this was just such a really good show. Like, I can only talk about it so much, and just overall, just like go watch it. It was just one of the best WWE PLEs that we've had in such a long time. I haven't felt this way about a WWE PLE in that long. Like, most of the PLEs that have happened, it's been like, yeah, you have like one match that's meh here and there, or like, you know, the pacing really drops, but overall the pacing for this whole show was just big, and it felt big, and it had that big show feel because they were in the Rogers Center, so they were in a big ass stadium for this. Typically Elimination Chamber is not in a stadium, but they had this in a stadium. It felt big, and everything that happened on the show felt big. I think the John Cena heel turn is going to be something that's talked about for fucking decades, and they're going to have a documentary on it. They're going to have a documentary on like this build to WrestleMania. Maybe they'll do something like they did last year with the behind the scenes. Like, obviously I know that was a special case, but maybe they'll do something for that. Maybe they'll do a documentary for John Cena, like John Cena's farewell tour or something like that. But I mean, this show was just so good, and just go watch it for yourself. That's all I got to say about it, really. Like, it was just such a special moment, and yeah, I thought it was very solid. For the first time ever, I'm going to give this show a 4.9 Dropkicks out of 5. It gets 0.1 off because Travis Scott was in that last segment. He doesn't have to be there. I don't know why he was there. I know this is a bit of a shorter episode, but I am going to do another one later on this week about the weekly shows and stuff, but I really just wanted to talk about Elimination Chamber while it was fresh on the mind. We do have WWE 2K25 coming out this week, the Bloodline Edition. I am going to stream that on my personal channel on Friday, so if you want to check that out, link in the description. And yeah, we'll do another episode or two this week to talk about the normal weekly shows. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking, supporting. Go check out TikToks and go check out the videos that I've been doing, like the comment videos and the quizzes. Those have been a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to do a few more of those soon. AEW Revolution coming up next Sunday, so I'll be talking about that. We have NXT Roadblock, TNA Sacrifice, MLP Mayhem. We've got a lot of wrestling coming up, and we are officially like on the road to WrestleMania. This build is looking crazy. I will see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to dropkick your week. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Have a good one. Goodbye.